Welcome to our show, the Modi Briefing. I'm your host, Yang Zheng. We have some intriguing stories lined up for you. First up, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau sees a new opportunity to engage with Narendra Modi's government on critical issues of national security and law. This comes after their brief meeting at the G7 summit in Italy, despite past tensions over the killing of a Canadian Sikh activist. Next, we delve into Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's attendance at the G7 Outreach Summit in Italy, which hints at a significant shift in India's foreign policy. With goals to become a developed country by 2047 and the third largest economy by 2027, India is looking to strengthen ties with Western democracies. This move is seen as crucial to counter Chinese and Russian influence, positioning India as a key player in the global order. Finally, we turn our attention to the ongoing tensions between India and Pakistan as Modi begins his third term. The revocation of Article 370 and the subsequent downgrading of diplomatic relations have strained ties further. However, the exchange of congratulatory messages between the two nations following Modi's re-election suggests that there may still be room for dialogue. Please stay tuned for the detailed coverage of these stories in CBCCC. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau expressed optimism about engaging with India's government following Narendra Modi's re-election for a third term. Trudeau highlighted the potential for collaboration on critical issues like national security and the rule of law, referencing his brief but serious meeting with Modi at the G7 summit in Italy. This interaction comes amid heightened tensions over the murder of Canadian Sikh activist Hardeep Singh Nijjar, which Trudeau attributed to the Indian government. The incident has led to diplomatic strains, including the expulsion of Canadian diplomats from India. Additionally, the extradition of alleged Indian drug trafficker Nikhil Gupta to the U.S., linked to a murder conspiracy involving Indian officials, has further complicated relations. 5 U. Senators have urged Secretary of State Antony Blinken to hold Indian officials accountable, reflecting the international ramifications of these events. Diplomat. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's participation in the G7 Outreach Summit in Italy marks a significant shift in India's foreign policy. Modi's third term signifies a move from regional to global engagement, particularly with Western democracies like the EU and France, as India seeks to counterbalance Chinese and Russian influence. This strategic pivot is underscored by India's growing economic and defense partnerships with the West. Despite its nuanced stance on the Ukraine conflict, Modi's direct engagement with Taiwan and Ukraine, including public acknowledgements and high-level delegations, highlights India's proactive approach to global issues. This shift reflects India's ambition to reclaim its role as a significant middle power, navigating complex geopolitical dynamics while addressing immediate threats from China and balancing historical ties with Russia. Diplomat. As Narendra Modi begins his third term, the future of India-Pakistan relations, particularly over Kashmir, remains uncertain. The revocation of Jammu and Kashmir's special status by India has led to a stalemate, with Pakistan demanding its restoration as a precondition for talks. Both the nations accuse each other of cross-border terrorism, complicating any reconciliation efforts. Despite this, there have been cautious diplomatic exchanges, with leaders from both countries expressing a desire for peace and cooperation. However, substantial dialogue seems unlikely in the near term. Given the political and economic challenges faced by Pakistan and India's firm stance on Kashmir, the ongoing ceasefire along the line of control offers a glimmer of hope for future confidence-building measures, but significant progress will require careful coordination and mutual concessions. South China Morning Post and Indian national Nikhil Gupta, extradited from the Czech Republic to the United States, pleaded not guilty to charges of murder for hire in a U.S. court. Gupta, detained at Prague Airport in June 2023, appeared before a federal magistrate judge in New York. The Justice Department accused him of conspiring with an unidentified Indian government official to assassinate Gurpatwal Singh Panin, a Sikh separatist leader and U.S. citizen. The plot was reportedly directed by an employee of the Indian government, and Gupta allegedly contacted a supposed criminal associate who turned out to be a confidential source. This incident follows a diplomatic row between Canada and India over the killing of another Sikh separatist, Hardeep Singh Nijjar, in Vancouver. Hanan, the intended target, described the plot as an example of India's transnational terrorism challenging U.S. sovereignty. The Globe and Mail tragic train collision in India's West Bengal state resulted in the deaths of at least 15 people and injured dozens more. A freight train collided with the rear of a stationary passenger train. The Kanchanjunga dramatic pile-up with carriages left mangled and one nearly vertical from the impact. The crash is blamed on driver error. So rescue teams working tirelessly to free trapped passengers and clear the wreckage. The driver of the freight train and a guard on the passenger train were among the deceased. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed his condolences and emphasized swift action to restore rail traffic. This incident comes just over a year after a major rail disaster in Odisha caused by a signaling error, which claimed 280 lives, leading to criticism of the government's rail safety record by opposition parties. Associated Press Nikhil Gupta, an Indian national, was extradited from the Czech Republic to the U.S. to face charges of murder for hire and conspiracy. Gupta was allegedly recruited by an unidentified Indian government employee to assassinate Sikh separatist leader Gurpatwant Singh Pannan in New York. The plot was foiled by a DEA sting operation, with Gupta unknowingly coordinating with DEA confidential sources. Gupta was arrested in Prague in June 2023 under a bilateral extradition treaty. If convicted, he could face up to 20 years in prison. This case follows another high-profile accusation involving the Indian government in the assassination of Sikh activist Hardeep Singh Nijjar in Canada, which India has vehemently denied. Gupta's attorney plans to challenge the extradition, calling it a political case. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 60O team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 60O Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 60O team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 60O Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 60brief. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 60O Brief by email.
Morning coffee, fresh off the press, reading headlines, feeling blessed. World keeps turning, stories unfold. Every moment news gets told. Flipping channels, clicking tabs, feeding my mind's hunger grabs. Facts and figures, images bright. News keeps rolling day and night. Headlines and headlines, can't get enough. Learning about the world, yeah, it's my stuff. Headlines and headlines, stories unfold. Knowledge is power, truth to behold. Politics, science, sports, and art. Every story plays its part. Global voices, voices near. Every headline loud and clear. Need the latest, got to know. Never stopping, always go. Scrolling, swiping, reading on. Daylight breaks in the dawn. Headlines and headlines, can't get enough. Learning about the world, yeah, it's my stuff. Headlines and headlines, stories unfold. Knowledge is power, truth to behold. Need the latest, got to know. Never stopping, always go. Scrolling, swiping, reading on. Daylight breaks into dawn. Headlines and headlines can't get